What's up, YouTube? I've been hunting around Facebook Marketplace for a cheap little four-wheeler, and as indestructible as I could get, and I think I found the perfect one. We're about to go get it right now. We're excited. I'm gonna go hook up the trailer to the Ranger, and we're gonna head out and cross our fingers it's not a complete pile of crap when we get there. It looks pretty good. I've talked to the guy. He seems pretty upfront about it, but you never know how this stuff goes till you actually get there, so we'll see what happens. Just got back and I am super pumped. I was going for something that I could just kind of play around in, almost like kind of like a pit bike, but an ATV obviously, and we have got the perfect one. These things are almost indestructible in my opinion, at least one of the most durable little four-wheelers you can get. And this little unit seems to be real solid. Unfortunately, I didn't get to test drive it like I want to, but I mean, real good condition it seems like for the most part. Seat's a little torn, but no big deal there. I mean, fires right up. It's got that little classic Honda tick, but no big deal. I'm really excited about this thing. I love these little four-wheelers, and this is the exact body style and the exact color that I wanted. Again, I'm not worried about the seat. There's some nice little aftermarket tires, some knockoff Bighorns. They're the Sun Fs. You can usually get them on Amazon or something, but I mean, still pretty happy about that because the factory tires are garbage, and if it still had the factory tires, they'd probably be bald as all get out by now. So this will be a really nice four-wheeler just to play around here at the outpost and back up four-wheeler, take with us to Busco, do some wheelies, and just kind of rip around. And that's exactly what we're about to do. I want to give it a good little shakedown, so let's get this thing unloaded. Little test drive with the Recon didn't go so well. It fired up and it was riding around for a little bit, and then it just spit and sputtered and got to the point where it just wouldn't run. So I pulled the carburetor out, cleaned it, had a ton of junk in it, and the carburetors on these things are real easy. They're pretty similar to any small engine gravity fed little carburetor. I'll put a little tag or whatever you call it I did a video on just some basics for carb cleaning when I was doing my little outboard motor for my John boat, so you check that out. Just some good basics to get you started, but they're all relatively similar. That's all I was going to do, but whenever I started doing that, then I noticed like my vacuum lines and my crankcase line are all dry rotted, and so I ended up just pulling out the whole air box. And then I pulled out the air box and I was like, well, I'm probably going to eventually put a snorkel on it. So I went ahead and sealed my snorkel boots here. Those are the factory ones that come on it. And I use, I'm trying this out. It's weather strip adhesive, and it's got some flex to it, and it dries real securely. I use it for my tonneau cover, like the weather stripping when it like peels back or whatever every time, and it works really, really well. So we'll see how that does. I've used black RTV in the past. There's a couple of little small things in here I want to tidy up, but this is why I can never have anything nice, because I like do one thing, be like, oh, well, I'll just do this, and then I get into it and I'm like, well, I might as well do this while I'm here, and then next thing you know, it looks like this. So we're going to slap it back together now, and we're going to try to take it for a little test rip. All right, it's the next morning. Took me a little figuring out to get this little thing running last night. We had a temperature change and a little rainstorm come in overnight. It's a little chilly out here today, but there was some vacuum lines and stuff that I think I had gotten out of order by accident, so it really wasn't running that great. I think I finally figured it out last night, so we're gonna see if it'll cooperate with us this morning. Oh, come on. Still kind of got a bit of a hesitancy when you give it revs and it kind of starts to come down on the revs. It kind of gets hung up a little bit and then drops again. You can kind of, well, that little, I don't know if you can hear that. Dang, still not wanting to idle that great. It is a little chilly out today. We'll see what happens. I got it running good enough right now. I'm gonna let it warm up some and see. We'll see if she'll actually give me a little bit of a chance to rip it around some. All right, we got a pretty good little ripper, I think. It does have a 2-inch lift on it already, and these little small foils are already kind of tippy, like from side to side. I have some 1-inch wheel spacers I'll throw on. I know some people don't like wheel spacers. I've had really good luck with them. I actually did a little video on why I think I've had good luck with them. I'll do a little tag for that. Go check that out if you want to. I've been running on my Ranger for, I got over 90,000 miles on my Ranger, and I've been, the wheel space has been on it pretty much the entire time I've had the truck, and I got it brand new. So I've never had a problem, knock on wood. So go check out that video if you're interested. I don't like how low the handlebars are. Again, it's kind of a small four-wheeler. It's like 6'1", somewhere around in that area. This is supposed to be like a little pit bike ATV for me, and it fits the bill perfect. And plus something small and easy my wife can put around on if she wants to. But the handlebars sit kind of low, so I got some 1-inch handlebar risers. I think that'll help. I got a little light bar I'm going to put on the handlebars too, just because the headlights kind of suck on these things. And Honda has like these, I'm gonna see if I can find an LED replacement bulb for the factory housing, but what I've seen online, it can be kind of a pain, so you might just have to swap them out for a whole new like LED conversion. I don't really want to do that. I kind of like the styling of the front. It's a little bit of a sporty kind of utility, so that's kind of what I'm going to make it as. A little kind of fun, small, sporty little bike to put around on. I am going to probably snorkel it though. I had a 250EX that I put a Recon lift kit on, some 26-inch mud lights. I snorkeled it, the whole nine, and it was just a blast to go do water wheelies and stuff on. It was our depth finder. If we wanted to test a hole, that's what we would use, and because if it got too deep, you just hopped off and the four-wheeler would float. It would just float there. So it was so much fun, and the only problem is that it was geared kind of high because it was the sportier version. That's why I wanted one of these. It's geared a little bit lower, so I think it can kind of take on that kind of utility low end torque a little bit better, and a little bit more fender coverage, and I think just overall a little bit more comfortable. Probably going to do a front disc conversion. You can get the disc brakes off of a 250EX, but the front lug pattern I think is different. I think it's a 4x133 in the front, and all other ones are 4x110. But I swear on my 250 I just swapped over some 12-inch wheels off of a Grizzly, which is also a 4x110. So I don't know, but I am going to do a front disc conversion. But right now the drum brakes are working, surprisingly. That's a pretty common thing with these little Hondas, is the drum brakes, they go out pretty regularly. They're not the best. The rear's not so bad, but the fronts really are pretty terrible. Also got a new seat for it, so we're going to get it cleaned up real good, and let's see how she turns out.
wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, a disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
Now I got this little 250 all cleaned up, and I gotta say, it turned out really good. You'll be so surprised how much just a really good thorough cleaning of a unit will do. I think it's one of the more like common preventative maintenance measures that people miss out on, especially just hard to reach places. In your shocks, your CV axles, if you have those, just the nooks and crannies that can cause rust, premature wear, things like that. I actually did a full video on a whole wash down procedure that has served me well. If you're interested, do a little tag to that video here. Now we're still getting a little bit of spitting, not really spitting, it's more or less on the decel. After it comes down on the revs, it's getting a little bit of popping. Sounds like it might need a valve adjustment or something. I've run through the carb a few times, but it does crank, it runs, it does wheelies, so it's going to serve the purpose as our little pit bike. The wheel spacers were definitely a good idea. Gives it a better stance in my opinion, and also it definitely helped with it not feeling so tippy. Now you can kind of take a turn and it doesn't like, it's not so quick to come up on two wheels and come off balance, but you can still do those little side wheelies pretty easily, but it does make it a little bit more manageable, which I liked. I did leave the lift kit on it. It sits at a pretty good height. Now, I know it's only a little 250, but for a little four-wheeler, it sits good, and I like how it's kind of nice and wide now with the wheel spacers.
And what I did do though is the steering was off, so when you lift them it can mess with your toe. So that was another reason why it's kind of so darty when I was driving it. So I fixed that, so now it's kind of squared up. And we also added handlebar risers. You can see the piece here. You can typically get away with about an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches, maybe depending on the model or the unit on your factory cables. I did that just because it's a small four-wheeler. It's not really meant for like a full-grown adult to be doing what I plan on doing with it. I'm about 6 foot, 6'1", somewhere around in that neighborhood. So it's just a little bit more ergonomic, a little bit more comfortable. Have those handlebars sitting up just a little bit higher than they were sitting down low factory. We also added us a little pit bike style light bar. I like the Hondas that have the headlight on the handlebar, so when you're turning you're actually like shining the light where you're about to turn. I do like that, so I wanted to add one on this. Got to finish wiring that up, but I thought that turned out pretty clean with these little bar clamps. Still have access to my choke and everything, so I had to kind of figure that out, take some little loose measurements. Brand new seats. Pretty cheap to replace the seats. I got the fully assembled seat for about 80 bucks. I thought about recovering it, but since the replacement was so cheap, might as well just get a whole new foam and everything. So it was just starting from brand new there, and I still have the old seat I can recover if needed later. For now, this is how she's going to sit. We are going to go back, change out the bushings, ball joints, flush out all the fluids. The engine will look pretty good, and I did check the rear diff fluid. Everything looks okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and swap out, put some fresh in there just to give us a good baseline. Let's replace this muffler as well. It's just a bit annoying. You can hear that little rattling around in there. My buddy's old foreman did that too. It's something with the packing, or maybe the internal spark arrestor has just, again, it's 15 years old. It's probably rusted, loose, and is jangling and banging around in there, and just kind of annoying really is all it is for the most part. But it actually could be causing some of that back popping issue as well. I'm not going to fully restore it, but I do want to see if this thing lives up to, Hondas are known to be almost indestructible, especially these little Recons like this. And the older Foremans and older Ranchers, like, they're basically just can take the most abuse I've ever seen out of a four-wheeler. I mean, I've witnessed people sinking them, oil looking like milk, like not even chocolate milk, just white milk almost, flushing it out, putting fresh oil in it, and just keeping on riding for the rest of the day. So we're going to see if this thing can actually live up to that indestructible Honda nature. So we're just going to kind of see how this evolves over time. I want to strip the plastics off, hit the frame with some paint just to make sure it lasts. It's already 15 years old. This is a 2007, but it seems to have held up pretty well. So we're going to put it to the test. One thing that we are going to do, we got to get rid of these little Honda Steelies. I mean, they're not the worst looking wheels, but you know we're going to run rock tricks. I think it will look really good with those black 8-spoke RT 102s from them. Again, we've been running rock tricks over the last 7 years or so on our units, and I think they make a great product. So as I said, you're going to kind of see this thing still kind of evolve over time, and I'll do some more videos, but for now, this is how she's going to ride for a little bit, and we're pretty happy with the way it turned out. But if you like this sort of stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe. We appreciate you taking time to watch the videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one.